shot and passed it across. And it's now 1-0 for the Maple Leafs. And Castlegar is still 2 men short, according to referee Bryson is now being questioned by assistant captain Keith Kalowski.
Was scored by number 10 Scott Hargraves with an assist to number 21 Brian Bolts and 19 Steve Williams. Time of the goal 18:06.
Castlegar still 2 men short on the overlapping penalty.
One 5-minute infraction, of course, still counting.
And here they come again. Williams fires off the post. He just dinged that crossbar and gave it a good ride. In along the boards in Castlegar territory, we'll have a face-off. So Scotty Hargraves tipped that puck in on that shot by Brian Boots.
I noticed the deflections as the puck was traveling to Edwards there in the Castlegar goal, and I wasn't sure if the Castlegar defenders had maybe ticked that in, but they give the goal to Hargraves. And Williams just had an excellent blast here on goal. He hit the goal post, and he's just got a super shot. Number 19 for Nelson.
Mikey Lawton out there on the face-off against Dale Bonderud, former teammates on the Nelson Midgets, by the way. They were coached by who else but Mike Lawton Sr. Jeff Adams in behind the net. Here's Mikey Lawton with that puck. It's Mike. Getting it across to Brian. Brian with that puck. Brian to Steve. Steve winds up. Fires! Good save by Edwards. Here's Mikey across to Brian. Brian fires in front of the net. And Jeff couldn't put it in. Picked up by Mikey. Mikey with it. Here's Mikey with it. Mikey wheeling around. In the corner to Jeff. Jeff across. Brian fires off the target, and he blasted that one. And the puck is cleared out into the center ice area, taken by Boats. Boats hit over the line. Boats dumps it to Williams. Here's Steve with the puck. Steve has it wheeling around. Plays it in the corner to Adams. Adams in front of the backhand shot, and Edwards makes the save.
Well, Edwards has been playing the angles, coming out for the shot, and he went down just in time. He knows, seems to know when to go down, and he covered that shot. And we're still only at 1-0 here in the.
I wish I was that way when I was playing goal. Everything went wrong. From the face-off, back to Jesse. Jesse. On the wing, there's Bolts with it. Bolts wheeling around. In front, they score! And Holden. A great play by Brian Bolts as he just pulled Rick Edwards out to Castlegar and played the pass in front of the net. And there was Tim Holden. Hey, wow, empty net. I'm not going to miss this one.
No, Edwards was pretty well out on highway 3.
He was in Castlegar.
Yeah, pretty well. And all Holden had to do was tap it in.
Scored by number 22, Tim Holden, with assist to number 20, Jamie Marriott, and 21, Brian Boats, at 19:36.
Well, that's an interesting goal. 22 from 21 and 20.
Yeah. And Marriott again counts.
Marriott picks up another point, and he had a great last half of the season. And here they come again. Marriott in over the line. Marriott in on goal, and he has the puck knocked away from him. Picked up now. Oh, and there's going to be a penalty to Dean Mowry as he went in. Boom.
First period by Castlegar 14, Nelson 7.
Well, the first period's over on a rough note. We have some shoving. 14-7, the saves in that period. 14 by Castlegar's Edwards and 7 by Nelson's Tullis. And we'll have a penalty or two coming out of this skirmish, which ends the first period of play. And the score is the Nelson Maple Leafs 2 and the Castlegar Rebels Zip. And Rick, tell us about how this all came about.
How this all came about? The first period was more the facts and figures in the penalty box and on the scoring sheet. The first penalty went to Nelson. That was to number 8, Craig Strubsall. He got a 2-minute elbowing penalty at 3:52 of the first period. And then there was a rash of penalties at 13:25 as Jesse for Nelson got 2 minors, one for cross-checking and one for roughing. And Rob McLeod of Castlegar got 2 roughing penalties.
Mark Nelson, number 15.
Let's get these.
Castlegar, number 16, Jeff Fletcher, received 2 minutes for roughing. Time for those penalties, 20 minutes.
Well, we had a boarding and a roughing penalty. A boarding to Dean Mowry and a roughing to Jeff Fletcher of Castlegar right at the 20-minute mark. So as we expected, the first period ended in, as we expected, a couple of penalties being called.
Yeah, a little roughing calls in the corner there by Edwards in the Castlegar zone. And as I was just trailing off there with the penalties in the first period, McLeod for Castlegar got 2 roughing penalties at the same time that Jesse got his 2 minors. And Seminoff for Castlegar also got a cross-checking penalty at 13:25. And then only a few seconds later, Dergusov for Castlegar got a 5-minute checking from behind penalty. That's when he hit McConaughey in the corner, and McConaughey had some blood trickling down his forehead. And I think he should be okay. He skated off the ice on his own steam, so he should be back.
He looked snarly too when he got it. So, okay, so of course we had 2 goals, and those were the most important things. They were power play goals, and the guys who scored them were.
Okay, Scott Hargraves at 18:06 in the first period with an assist from 21 Brian Boats and number 19 Steve Williams, and the second goal was to Tim Holden as he is out in the clear there with an assist from Marriott and Brian Boats.
And that's the story of the first period. We'll be back with period numero 2. Well, you know, there's not 2 smiling Irishmen up here, but there's one. Gary McQuaid, the famous Magoo. It's playoff time in the Cooney International Junior Hockey League. And Magoo, yourself, Ted Hargraves, the Nelson Maple Leafs have done it again in another record-breaking fashion, but it's a brand new season now.
No doubt, Frank. What you've done during the season doesn't mean a lot of dirty laundry. Once you get into the playoffs, the guys who really struggled to and didn't really put it together are the guys that get a new chance at it, and the guys who are satisfied with what they did during the season could be a big problem for them.
Health-wise, how's the team?
We've got a couple of small hurts, but nothing major. Mike Lawton's back almost at 100% after having the ligament damage. We really need him. He's a good leader. When he's skating, he makes a lot of things open up. No excuses on that part. Hope we get through this game tonight so that the first round of the playoffs, everybody is healthy.
Magoo, it's been a tremendous season. The last 2 seasons, everybody says, well, you know, they sit back complacent. We're talking about the fans. We got to get them out to this rink. We got to get them out here to see this team play hockey and see why they're so good.
Well, I think they can thank Teddy's recruiting methods. There's good young players here for the fans to come out and watch. It's a good caliber of hockey. The kids come out and work hard pretty well every night. The fans have got to realize that this scholarship program that all these kids are on fairly well, except for the odd kid that's working. It's all paid by the booster club executive working their butts off, but you need to have the support of the fans, and it makes a big difference for the hockey team to have a sold-out house. I think the kids deserve it. I think the fans of Nelson should be getting out much more heartily and enthusiastic to back these kids. A lot of local kids out here playing, and you don't run a hockey team with nobody in the barn, and if there's nobody in the barn, then again you get back to the same situation. I don't think Nelson is a place that should not have hockey.
Well, this is true, and of course, knowing these boys and seeing them on the street, they are a credit to the hockey club, not only on the ice, but also off the ice as well.
Well, that's one of the character things that we've enjoyed with these kids. I guess as coaches, you're never happy all the time, and you always expect them to do better. But their lifestyle, they work hard, and most of them are doing very, very well at school. They've taken part in the community at their schools and at college. I think they're real credit, the kids from out of town, a real credit to Nelson, and Nelson should be proud of them.
Well, Gary McQuaid, along with Ted Hargraves, a tremendous job for, that both of you have done. Of course, we've got to go back to the executive. We've got to go back to Trevor and the whole shooting match that have done a great job. And hey, season's not over yet, eh?
Oh, that's right. We haven't even hit St. Patrick's Day yet, so.
Goodness, it came in the fall show, which means 100,000 welcomes in Gaelic.
Well, I'd just like to thank the fans who have shown up this year, Frank, and a special thanks to the executive and to Trevor and Teresa Stocks especially. Unbelievable support. These kids have no idea how much work the executive does on the outside the rink, getting the auction going, putting on rock and roll shows, whatever else goes on, and that really helps.
And of course, poisoning people on restaurant day too.
Well, I think I'd like to see a lot of people show up at
yeah, you and me
at
both.
The cattle company for Brian Russell, who's been a great supporter for our team.
Absolutely. Magoo, thanks very much, and best of luck, and I hope the next time I talk to you, you're the Western Canada Junior B champions.
Well, that would be a credit to the kids. The kids do it, not the adults, but we're proud of them, and I'd be very proud of Nelson if we had a sellout all through the playoffs, Frank.
Absolutely. Gary McQuaid, co-coach, along with Ted Hargraves, with the Nelson Maple Leafs, and we've got hockey action coming right up.
Thanks, Frank.
There was a correction on the last Nelson goal. It was scored by number 22 with assist to number 21 and number 7, Derek Jesse.
Well, here we go, ready for the second period of play. The score is 2-0 the Nelson Maple Leafs over the Castlegar Rebels.
An additional penalty on the 5-minute checking from behind to number 10, Dwayne DeGorsoff. He also received a game misconduct.
Well, we have penalties being added onto penalties, as play gets underway, and the Maple Leafs with the man advantage, and we have one of the gates open, and linesman Schweitzer says, "Shut that gate." Woo! Can't hear that. Okay, play is underway, and here comes the Sheriff's, fires right on Edwards. Hangs on for the face-off, and Edwards, right off the bat, is tested to start this second period.
Well, Castlegar should be thankful they have Edwards in goal, or else the score could be much higher than it is now, only 2-0. And of course, we have some more people in the penalty box right now, which is really what told the story in the first period. Nelson got 2 power play goals, and that's where the score stands now.
Yes, Jeff Marriott, Jamie Marriott, back to the blue line. Resnick fires off the target. Puck off the board. Scherers in there along with Chris Poznikov. We have the Castlegar penalty expired, so the teams are even skating man wise. And over the line, the play broken up neatly by Bolts in behind the Nelson net. It's Scherers now, dumping it down into Castlegar territory. Back for it is Poznikov. Poznikov in behind his own net, plays it into the corner, and Castlegar starting on the attack. Here comes Kowalski. Poznikov, long shot wide of the net. Resnick plays it off to Hargraves, to Lawton. Here comes Mikey Lawton. Lawton in over the lines, putting on the brakes. It's Lawton still with that puck. Pass it back to the blue line. McConaughey's out there, fires off the target. And that hits a defender. Here's McConaughey again. McConaughey fires, deflected by Lawton just off the post. In front, there's a shot right on, and that's stopped by Edwards. Puck is cleared along the boards, and the shot just deflected wide of the net, taken by Jesse, and Mikey Lawton causing a lot of disturbance out there, and we see that Kevin McConaughey is well patched up and back in action.
Well, that's certainly good to see. He's the fellow that took the hit in the corner there, and also the penalty that went to the Castlegar player, the 5 minutes for checking from behind. He also got a game misconduct tacked on to that for that incident. And there was also another change, whether our viewing audience caught that or not, to the goal. Marriott got his point taken away tonight, and the assist went to Jesse instead, so he's got to work a little harder to keep his point streak going.
Okay, from the face-off, puck taken by Rilkoff, off the board, knocked down. McConaughey fires it wide of the net, and Castlegar starting away, pass ahead into the center ice area, intended for Peter Halme, and Halme, former Nelson Maple Leaf player, out there for Castlegar, and the Maple Leafs have the power play now, and Halme is pinned along the boards by McConaughey, and the Maple Leafs starting away. Here's Derek Jesse, a forward pass intended for Carter, and that's knocked down the ice. Here's McConaughey with it. McConaughey plays it to Carter. Carter for the Maple Leafs to Jesse. Jesse starting away for the Maple Leafs. Jesse down the left wing boards. Jesse with the puck. Jesse in the corner, plays it in behind the net. Back to the blue line, Carter. Carter to Boats. Boats dumps it along the boards to Williams. Williams along the boards battling for it with Jesse. Jesse in there too. A scramble for it. The Maple Leafs with the puck. Pass back to the blue line to Carter. Carter to Boats. Boats slides it in front of the net wide. Holden after it. Holden with the puck in behind the net to Carter. Carter wheeling around, the puck loose. Carter battling for it. Holden in there now. Bonderud now. Bonderud ties it up along the boards, taken by Carter. Carter behind the net, out in front. There's the shot right on, and Edwards cutting down the angle, held on for the faceoff. 28 seconds left. 28 seconds left in the penalty to Castlegar's Durgosov on his original 5-minute major, and minor attached to it, plus he is out of the game.
Yeah,
boy, this is getting confusing.
Nelson is now at full strength, and Castlegar is still playing a man short, and like you mentioned, just under half a minute to go on that penalty.
Okay, here's Resnick playing it across to Bolts. Bolts to Resnick. Resnick starting away, fires it in, racing it after it is Jeff Adams. Adams putting on the brakes. Adams digging after that puck, backhanded to the blue line, kept onside by Bolts. Bolts, there's a shot by Shandy Mowry, good save. Another shot, and now the penalties have expired. Castlegar is back at full strength, and play in Castlegar territory. The puck in along the boards, held for the face-off. 15:47 remaining in the second period, and in case you're wondering, the score is Nelson 2, Castlegar nothing, both on late first period power play goals.
I think the last time you mentioned that both teams were playing at full strength was probably around the 11-minute mark in the first period, but we are at that state now, and we'll see how long it lasts.
Frank Matovich along with Rick Loewen here, and
we have the rink attendant down in the corner there, please.
And of course, Rick and I have done our bit as far as the play-by-play and hockey goes back a few years back with, well, we'll say it, KBS before it was officially KBS.
Right, and I can remember some moments we spent in the trail Kaminko
Oh,
Arena.
yes, oh, yes. Wondering if we were going to get out of the press box in one piece.
The Trail Nelson contests were always very colorful affairs, and we managed to come through those unscathed.
Tell me about it. Well, they have another glass problem in the corner down in Nelson territory. Scored 2-0 for Nelson, and the goal scorers were...
The goal scorers for Nelson in the first period. The first goal at 18:06 was to number 10, Scott Hargraves, with assists from Boats and Williams. And the second goal went to Tim Holden, and he had an assist from Jesse and Boats.
And there we have it. And this is the final game of the regular schedule. And then comes what else but everybody's favorite part of the season, playoffs.
Oh boy, the second season is one you never want to guess on. We've been trying to speculate tonight as to what might occur, and one thing is for sure, Nelson will be either playing the team here tonight, Castlegar, or Beaver Valley in the first round of the playoffs.
And it looks as though we have a punition, which is a penalty, and it goes to Castlegar, and apparently it looks as though as Rilkoff is getting a penalty, so Nelson will have another power play. Rilkoff getting the gate.
Castlegar penalty to number 4, Kevin Rilkoff. 5 minutes for high sticking.
5 minutes for high sticking. Hey, that's the second major we've had in this game. And, you know, for a team that is gunning to make the playoffs, you wonder why they're taking these type of penalties.
Well, you can play a rough game, but if you're spending most of your time in the box, you're certainly not helping your team if you're playing short-handed. So if they expect to win and get a playoff berth, they've certainly got to turn things around here tonight.
Nelson with a man advantage. There's Jeff Adams back to Centrone. He's got a good shot, and that's deflected by Edwards. Puck cleared along the boards. Holme after it. Holme backhands it down the ice into Nelson territory. Tallis leaves it for Centrone. Centrone over to Jeff Ball. Ball starting away, clearing the puck into Nelson territory. Edwards along the boards, picked up by Carter. Carter. Mowry now battling for it. Carter gets it in front to Jeff Adams. Adams in front of the net. Back to Ball. Ball across. Centrone fires. And the puck deflects wide. Mowry, that's Shandy, in behind the net. Adams around the net. Out in front. And the puck is deflected down the ice. Into Nelson territory. Centrone. He leaves it for Jeff Adams for Centrone. Centrone to Adams. Adams at center ice. Coming in over the line. Drops it back. Dean Mowry. Mowry with it. Mowry into the corner. Dean Mowry wheeling around, trying to find a man to pass to in behind the net. McConaughey fires right on, and that's kicked out. Puck cleared down the ice, kept onside. Dean Mowry fires right on. Stopped by Edwards. Good save. It's taken by Mowry. Mowry in the corner. Back to Sherers. Sherers to Mowry, wheeling around. Mowry. McConaughey just slides it in front of the net. Nobody there. Dumped out and down the ice. Back for it is McConaughey. 2:55 remaining in the major penalty to Rilkoff. As the Maple Leafs, Holden starting back. He was stopped, and that's cleared down the ice by Keith Semenoff. Back for it. The Maple Leafs, Jamie Marriott gives it to Derek Jesse. He fires it in. Puck taken in behind the net by Jeff Fletcher. Fletcher having trouble getting out of his own zone. Finally, along the boards, it's backhanded to the point. And out finally, kept onside by Jamie Marriott. Finally cleared out. And down the ice, back for it is Kevin McConaughey. Here comes Derek Jesse now. Jesse for the Maple Leafs into Castlegar territory. Puck backhand along the board, scramble for it. Holden clears it, and it's fired down the ice. Back for it is McConaughey. McConaughey tied up along the boards. He gets it ahead. The Maple Leafs ahead 2-0. They've had a lot of scoring opportunities, but look very lethargic. Here's Lawton firing. That's off the target. Picked up by Holden. Holden in front. Back to the blue line. Boats fires. Holden fires. That's off the target. Back to the blue line. And McConaughey couldn't get to it in time as it's cleared back to the Nelson line. Back for it. Here's Boats in over the line. Boats tries to set up a man. It's backhanded down the ice. 1:10 remaining in the penalty. The Maple Leafs leading 2-0 second period. And here comes Brian Boats. Fires it into Castlegar territory. Fletcher in front. And the shot wide of the net by Lawton, who knocked it down. In along the boards is taken by Holme, and he backhands it down the ice right on to Tullis, who plays it off the boards in among the spectators, and there will be a face-off.
Well, if we try and point out one of the strengths of the Castlegar team this evening is that they manage to kill penalties quite effectively if they're only one man short, and that's what they're doing right at the present time with 40 seconds left in the penalty to Rilkoff, as he got a 5-minute major for high sticking to score 2-0 here, and we're almost at the halfway point in the second period.
But the Maple Leafs do have not looked sharp on their power play opportunities.
No, they haven't. They just seem to be, if the player gets the puck, they sort of aim it at the net if they can and just take a shot, hope it goes in type of approach.
So actually a 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. Here comes Lawton in over the line. Mikey's knocked down. Dean Mowry after that puck in the corner. Lawton has it now. Lawton tried to set it out in front of the net. There's a break. Bonderud. And he has the puck knocked away from him. The Maple Leafs starting back. Here comes Dean Mowry back to Lawton. Fires off the target. And Lawton has I was going to say one hell of a shot, and I'll say it anyway. Pass in front. Play whistle down. And we've got a penalty. And it looks as though Steve Williams is heading for the penalty box. And so the Castlegar Rebels have the power play with 10:38 remaining in the second period. The score 2-0 for the Nelson Maple Leafs. And Williams.
Nelson penalty number 19, Steve Williams, 2 minutes for boarding at 9:22.
You don't see though. We've seen 2 calls tonight that are called very rarely. Boarding, charging. I thought that was called checking from behind.
Well, I guess it depends on exactly how the circumstance comes about, but there was one checking from behind that was given, but it seems to vary with whatever the situation is at the time.
And that checking from behind was a major, and we've got Dave Fujibayashi up here. Maybe we could possibly get him in here to just maybe talk to us about a few of these calls that are being called, and maybe get a referee's point of view in the game. Puck cleared in. It's Shrubsole with the puck. Cleared along the boards. Shrubsole battling for the puck with Carter. Puck cleared back. And it's dumped out into the center ice area. And down the ice, Jeff Ball clearing it in. And certainly one of the veteran officials, not only we'll say of junior hockey, but in senior hockey, and of course in Western Canada, is Dave Fujibayashi. And Dave, generally this season, what about the officiating status and the general state of play as the teams have purported themselves as far as the rules are concerned?
Well, I think Frank